And good morning. So lovely to see everyone and have the good morning shouted back at me. And also, it's always a pleasure to know how many people are with us online. We are a church without walls, and so that means that people come here into our building, but that we have a large congregation that joins us online. And we are always so grateful for that. So welcome those of you joining, and welcome all of you who have been able to come here in person. And so we begin, as we always do, in a tradition that is unity-based, is with prayer. And so we say, thank you, God, thank you, Divine Spirit, thank you for that divine essence that is the heartbeat of every person. And thank you for this community, because this community is one that believes in supporting each other as we transform our lives. And that transformation ripples out in ways we will ever not know or see, and things we do see. For as we transform, the blessings, the beliefs, the oneness in that transformation ripples out into not only Richmond, but our country and the world. And today we are very grateful that we're coming together as a congregation to declare a new year, to have the opportunity to vote in new board members, and to continue to allow the involution and evolution of this community in the right and perfect way throughout this next year. And for that we are so grateful. Amen. And now we are going to say our unity principle. We can say this together, please. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. And then we can do our vision statement. We are transformed lives, transforming the world. Those are both so powerful. And it's always good to pause afterward and just let that sink in, because we're talking about the oneness of the world, the oneness of each other. And no matter what the external looks like, we are all connected. We are all one. And that really resonates with peace, love, light, no matter what we outpicture. And that has to do with our daily word today, lively. I am lively, filled with awe and wonder. That's about life. There is a glorious, unseen flow at the heart of all creation, moving in and through me. And as I align with the sacred energy, I feel vibrantly alive. I imagine myself part of the great living whole. I am one with the trees, whose boughs sway in the wind, with the mountain and the hills, echoing with ancient voices, with the waters trickling over stone, even the quiet earth hums of a sacred song. And today I will listen even more closely, breathe more deeply, and move with intention. Life is not separate from me. I am its expression, and so are you. In harmony with its rhythm, the world begins to sing. I recognize its lively song is singing to me too. And this comes from Isaiah 55:12. For you shall go out in joy and be led back in peace. The mountains and hills before you shall burst in song, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. And let's say our affirmation together one time. I am lively, filled with awe and wonder. And so it is.
Let's stand, everyone. Let's sing.
2, 3. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Sing your song in me. Sing your song into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Whoa, wonderful Spirit.
Thank you for that. Great musicians we have. And so I'm going to do the announcements. Not all of them are going to be up here because a lot have been added. But first of all, we do have our annual meeting today. They're going to have a light potluck, not putluck. It might be a potluck too, but we're going to eat. And then we're going to have board member election and the annual meeting. That will start at 12:45. So go down and make sure you get something to eat first, and then come on back up. And actually, the meeting's going to stay downstairs from what I've been told. And then Casey is going to come forward to give us some information on our double good announcement. He just stepped out. So we might be coming back to that double good announcement. What I will do while we're waiting for him is have Rob come up because he's going to make an announcement. Yes. Rob's coming and then you, Casey, so come on up.
Yes, he is, and he's timing it.
Yes.
In 60 seconds. I bogarted on. We love Katrina Carroll Lewis. She is amazing, and she is in a play. Raise your hand if you know what Juneteenth is. I tell you, if you go see this play, Out the Mud, you will have a whole different understanding of what Juneteenth is. It's extraordinary, it's hard, and our Katrina Carroll Lewis is amazing. We're putting together a group 2 Fridays on the 27th. If you want to come, we're going to see about tickets and all that. I can't tell you. Go to firehouse.org, see this play, whether you come with us on the 27th or you go to Pay What You Will. There are lots of opportunities. It is extraordinary, and you don't want to miss it. 60 seconds.
Yes, you did it. You guys, I don't know if you're a 60-second limit, but I'm not timing.
Oh, well, we'll see what happens. Okay, hi. We're getting ready to kick off a double good fundraiser for Unity. We're going to raise, our goal is about $3,000. This fundraiser is a unique opportunity because we are able to raise money by selling popcorn to small batch made popcorn to individuals. The popcorn is shipped directly to you, and Unity will receive 50% of the proceeds from the sales. You can help out in a couple of different ways. You could set up your own pop-up store, create a quick pop-up shop and share it with your friends, your family, your coworkers on social media. And that will help spread the word and help us reach more supporters. That will keep track of your contribution, people who've bought popcorn through your pop-up store. And we can, we've been talking about a reward for highest sales or something like that, but we haven't settled on anything yet. But if you create a pop-up store, you would be in the running for that reward. Now, the second way is if you don't want to go through all the business of creating your own pop-up store, you can just shop from one of these pop-up stores. There is one already created. I'll print this out and leave it here, but there's a QR code that you can scan and take a look at the store and see all the different options for the popcorn. The popcorn is made in small batches. It comes in a variety of different flavors, and again, it's shipped directly to you. We don't have it won't come to Unity and then have us distribute it to you. Yeah, so this goes live today at noon, and it will run just a quick blitz from now until the 19th, and it ends at the 19th on noon. So yeah, please help us out, and whether you want to create a pop-up store or shop from a store, if you need any assistance with any of that, please let me know, and you can either see me today after the service or reach out to me during the week by phone or by email. All right, thanks.
So there's all these great opportunities of ways to support the church, and anything like this does help to financially support the church, but also have us work together as a community for a common good. So that's always important. And speaking of common good, we have a very special minister that also does beautiful music. And so we're going to have a chant night with Valerie and Dan O'Neill. It's going to be Friday, March the 20th at 6:30 p.m. right here at Unity of Richmond. It helps to raise your energy, brings peace, and chanting together just always is a great vibratory thing. So please come March the 20th at 6:30. And then we have another great opportunity with the monks coming to visit Richmond again. They will be doing most of their activities at U of R, right, not U of R, but the Unitarian Church right down the road. But we are hosting them here. So you can sign up. There's a sign-up sheet out here, and if you sign up, then you're on the mailing list so that you can sign up for shifts. We also will need a group here on the 30th when they arrive as a welcoming committee. So it would be great to have people here, so keep that in mind, and you can sign up with that or let Valerie know about that. And then the day before, the 29th, which is a Sunday, we are going to be setting up downstairs. We're going to be setting up the beds and having everything set up, so we do need people to help with that. So there's lots of opportunities to not only help, and in helping we're serving, but also to attend and be present with the monks. So there's a sign-up sheet out there, and you can also talk to Valerie and show up. And then we're also, what I love about this community is that we celebrate everybody and whatever they're doing. And we have a great opportunity with Mayor Taylor. Mayor, stand up. I know everybody knows her, but you never know. There might be a few new people here. And she's being ordained March the 29th. She's graduating from Pathways of Light Spiritual College. And she wants to have a celebration here afterwards. It's going to be at 2:50. And there's going to be a sign-up sheet because they want to know if you're going to come, so they have enough food and celebratory things for you. You can attend by listening, by calling in, or in person. And you can attend by listening in or calling in person. There's sheets outside that will tell you everything about it. They're right on the front, so you can look for a sheet, and it has all of the information. And then the last thing I believe that we have for announcements is Easter. If you can believe it, Easter is 3 weeks from now. I think that's absolutely amazing. And so we always give people the opportunity to have memorial flowers. So there is a sheet going around if you would like to have a flower. It can be in honor of someone or in memory of someone. So sign up on that sheet so we can have our stage beautifully decorated with the memory and honoring of our loved ones. And so I believe we are done with announcements. So thank you for the opportunity to have so much going on here.
Good morning, beloveds. Billions live their lives that Mohammed, Krishna, or the Buddha are the way. Still some believe it's right to say in the name of Jesus when you pray. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. Some say God's a him. Still many believe that he is a her. Does God live in our hearts? Or is she somewhere out there in the universe? We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. How far will we have to go before we learn the lesson? Gandhi was a Hindu, Martin Luther King a Christian. Regardless of religion, they knew love was the mission. And it all comes down to one. Is there no God at all? Or a pantheon of gods up in the sky? We can heal our broken hearts if we give up the desire to be right. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and we all want the same things. Health, love, prosperity, and peace. If tolerance is the seed, then the gift of pure acceptance is the tree. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one. Whether you are red, brown, yellow, black, or white, a man with a husband or a woman with a wife, we can debate until the end of time who's wrong or who is right, or we can see ourselves as one, 'cause it all comes down to love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. We are a humankind of 7 billion. So many different races and religions, and it all comes down to one.
Good morning. Good morning. Y'all can hear me all right? All right, so my name is Jonathan Neeley, and I'm a member here at Unity, and it's really nice to be with you this morning. I thought I would start with just a quick story. Yesterday, I was taking my daughter Maggie to the playground, or she was taking me to the playground. And something we've worked on with her since she was able to walk, is holding our hands when we cross the street. And so she's really good at that. She knows that as soon as it's time to cross the street, she reaches for our hand. And one thing we haven't talked about as much is alleyways, but we live in a neighborhood now where there are alleyways and people drive in and out of alleyways. And it's just as important to look. And so we were coming to an alleyway, and we were walking this way. The alleyway was going perpendicular to our path. The street was here to this side of me. And just as I stopped and crouched down and started to say to Maggie, just like at streets, we stop at the alleyway and look across the street, so out of danger, we were okay, but a truck pulled up from the alleyway. And then it pulled through and came into our path, and Maggie loves trucks. And this man driving the truck was friendly, or he was in a good mood, and he kind of stopped. And he rolled down his window, and he said, "I hope you all are having a good time." And I was able to kind of speak with him and say, when we're walking in the sidewalk, we need to look for alleyways, right? And look for cars and trucks. And he said, "Oh, yeah." And she was just enthralled, like looking up. And I'm going to talk about Buddhism this morning. And so this doesn't, Buddhism doesn't talk that much explicitly about affirmations, but that just felt like such a little reminder. And what I am going to talk about is how in every step of the day we can find these reminders, and we can condition our consciousness to know that the universe is for us, and God is good. And, like Barbara spoke about, there is this glorious and wondrous flow coming through us, available. And so that was just like a really fun moment for me as a dad. Also, she's more likely to listen to the dude with the truck than to me. The reason that I spoke to Valerie about talking this morning is just because Buddhism is having like a little bit of a moment with our church and with the Richmond community. I'm curious, just show of hands, who was at the Walk for Peace in January, either in Ashland or Chester or downtown? Yeah. So there were a lot of people there, and that garnered a whole lot of attention. And then we have these monks coming at the end of March and into April to stay with us. And I felt pulled to share, just because for me, Buddhism was kind of my entryway back into my spirituality. Like, things kind of fell asleep for a long time, which will happen in your 20s. And Buddhism was like a gateway into kind of understanding myself to be bigger than what I thought, bigger than what I felt for a while. And then also Unity has been this wonderful way of continuing that practice and deepening it. And at this point, the two just have this really beautiful dance for me, that one complements the other. Sometimes the lines really blur in the best of ways. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about my path and where I find that overlap and what I've learned from the teachings of Buddhism and how they relate to what we talk about here at Unity. Let's see where the match is. So I learned Buddhism in what's called the Plum Village tradition, which is really based in the teachings of a Vietnamese monk named Thich Nhat Hanh. And anyone who practices with his teachings comes to know him as Thai, which in Vietnamese just means teacher. It's a really cool thing about practicing in Plum Village tradition. You get to call this amazing character Thai, like, you know, he's your uncle or something. And if you don't know about Thich Nhat Hanh, you know, the short version, he actually just transitioned, passed away in 2022. He was, I think, 94 years old. He really became active going way back to the late 50s and 60s. He's really credited a lot with bringing mindfulness to the West. He and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a very close friendship. Toward the end of King's life, Dr. King started to put a lot more focus toward anti-war efforts in Vietnam. That was a direct influence from Thai. King nominated Thai for a Nobel Peace Prize. He was also a close friend of Thomas Merton, who is a Christian monk that really developed the practice of contemplative prayer. So Thai was this amazing, amazing figure. I need to move on with what I actually have to say today. But at the beginning of our sittings at Stillwater, which was the Sangha that I sat with, and I forgot about the candle, we would light a candle for Thai because he had recently had a stroke, and this was a way of holding him and his healing in our consciousness. And that's one nice little overlap I find, that idea of holding something in our consciousness, even if we can't wrap our mind around it. And so I invite you to use this candle just to hold anything that you might be carrying, a person, a situation. Hold that in your consciousness as we speak today. And the other thing that I'm going to do that comes directly from Thai is just invite the bell for a moment and use that as an invitation for us all to ground here in the present moment. One of the first things that I learned with the sound of the bell is the short phrase when a bell rings, listen, listen. The sound of this wonderful bell brings me back to my true home. And that's a way of grounding in the moment. And so I'll probably invite that a couple more times while we're with each other this morning. Okay, so the Walk for Peace. 10,000 people were in front of City Hall. It was a big deal. There was a lot of energy. These monks had walked from Texas all the way to Richmond. It had been a few months already. Some of them had been sick. It was a brutally cold winter. And here they were kind of sharing their message for peace with us. And really, they said the same thing that I learned from Thai over and over, which is peace in oneself, peace in the world. And they were using their walk to spread that message. They talked that day, the monk who shared talked a lot about waking up each day and declaring it our peaceful day, which feels a lot like an affirmation here at Unity. He talked about cell phones and multitasking and the mental health effects of having our attention pulled in all of these different ways. And then he also spoke about cleaning a mirror, and he had been doing that throughout his walk. So he said to the people who have already heard me speak, have you been cleaning your mirror? Some people raised their hands, some didn't. And he talked about, you know, if you don't clean your mirror every day, eventually you're going to have to go to Lowe's and get like some heavy-duty stuff because stuff builds up and you can't just take like a paper towel and some Windex. So he said it's really important to clean your mirror every day. And something that stuck with me since the Walk for Peace is that the next day I was reading Reddit, which if you don't know what Reddit is, it's just an online forum where people can talk about whatever they want. And there was a thread going about the Walk for Peace, and people were like, I loved it. I liked seeing the monks. It was meaningful to me, etc. But someone was like, it was really cool. There was good energy. I enjoyed it. But the monk was like a pretty speaker. He just talked about like not being on your cell phone and cleaning a mirror. and I think this person was either disappointed or just critical. I think they have a point. It's fair if you look at it from a certain perspective, right? It's a tough time for the human condition. There's a lot happening. The mental health crisis is real. We all feel very frazzled. That's not to say anything of the current geopolitical situation. But I think that Ty might say that this person had not yet met with the right conditions for hearing this monk's message. And, my understanding is that the Buddha used to speak about mirrors kind of as metaphors for introspection and how to best walk the Eightfold Path, which is really great. But for me, when the monk at the Walk for Peace talked about the mirror, I heard something a lot simpler and really that was kind of the impetus for my sharing today. I wanted to speak a little bit about what I heard in that, which, to put it as simply as I could, it's this idea that in order for us to be at peace or connect with God or to use our powers or to express or receive true love, we have to be present. That verse from Isaiah at the end of today's daily words, the mountains and the trees are singing with this joy of life. It's been happening throughout time, but it's only ever happened in the now. And where the mirror is concerned is that cleaning a mirror is just a daily practice. It's a literal thing that we need to do that gives us a chance to practice that presence. It's a way for us to have peace in every step of the day. And Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's a way for us to tap into that right now. So I'll come back to that, but I wanted to first talk just a little bit about some of what Valerie's been sharing over the last couple of weeks with these ideas around how we actually cultivate abundance for ourselves and how we actually tap into that abundance. And something she's made clear each time, we weren't here last week, so I'm not sure what you said last week actually, but otherwise it's just that autopilot is really easy, right? It's called autopilot for a reason because there's so much going on, and how we would say it in unity maybe is that our unconscious beliefs, our deeper assumptions are just easy to fall into. That's what we fall into by default. Two things that I had written down are that without focusing the mind will carry me away in default belief system. Or without retelling the story, I'm prone to living out of a shadow, an assumed meaning. And I think if we think about cleaning the mirror as like a physical act, we can also think about the tension that we hold in our body. The way that we rush from task to task or attempt to do 3, 4, 5 things at once, and then our mind is just not with our physical being. It's not with what we're doing. And that leads to a whole lot of anxiety. It doesn't feel very good. And the other thing is it's just sort of like, it's almost like a gate closes right here, and we just exist here, and we can't tap into everything else that we are, which is, our whole body and the sensation that pulses through it. That's like our radio transmitter for presence. So the Buddha taught us that meditation has 2 aspects. One is called samatha, and one is called vipassana. And vipassana is like the cool stuff that like hooked me in. I was, oh man, like I can wrap my head around some pretty far out, heady stuff and sound really cool when I talk about it. Vipassana is deep insight. And I did not have deep insight with that understanding of Buddhism. Samatha is calming. Samatha, Thai talks about it as being like a lullaby for our inner child or for our monkey minds. And he talks about how the deep insight that comes from clarity and being with what is, we can't access that without calming ourselves and without being present. Without stopping, without not running around, but that when we do become present, there's a soothing effect and spaciousness opens up. For me, the mirror is great, but one of my favorites actually is the dishes, and that's probably because Thai speaks a lot about the dishes, and he has what's called a gatha, which is like a little poem. And he says that doing the dishes, and by the way, I guess I kind of meant to like preface that with just like when you have a small child, there's so many dishes. And really, you know, unless you like eat out every meal, there's just always dishes. They never stop, right? Like the sink is like this magnet. There's dishes to do. So doing the dishes is like washing a baby Buddha. The profane is the sacred. Everyday mind is Buddha mind. How lovely, you know? This idea that in this act that I've got to do in order to keep life rolling along, there's this, I can pair that with, you know, like I talked about at the beginning, this opportunity to condition my consciousness and to open up into the spaciousness inside of me that's only available in the present moment. And you know, you could, for you, maybe the mirror does really resonate. Maybe the dishes really resonate. Sometimes at home it's cleaning up the toys or changing a diaper. Sometimes it's grocery shopping and grabbing a cart and walking through the doors and reaching for an apple and grabbing a box of oatmeal off the shelf. Everything we do gives us a chance to realize I'm actually doing this, to be here and be doing it instead of having it happen without knowing that it's even happening. Something that really stuck with me from the last time that Valerie spoke about abundance and cultivating our awareness of abundance was the reset process. Just a quick reminder, what that is this idea that in any moment we can stop and recognize if we're being triggered. That's step one. Or recognize if we're frazzled or somehow hyper alert or feeling uncomfortable. Step number two is that we can recognize where we're feeling that in our bodies. Maybe, for me, my shoulders get hunched, my face gets tense. I have this yoga teacher that I really love, and she always says at the end of practice when we're practicing Savasana, take your tongue off the roof of your mouth. I never realized I did that. But when I learned to scan for that, my face started to relax. So like, it's great. Yeah. Even Valerie does that. So step one, recognize the discomfort that's there. Step two, where is it in my body? Step three, what am I making this mean? We speak all the time here at Unity about how we create our reality with our thoughts, meaning that whatever happens, we give it a meaning, and we can correct if we're giving it a meaning that actually doesn't lead to a peaceful feeling. Step four is that deep question of who did I come here to be? You know, if I'm a soul inhabiting a body that's only here temporarily, but, you know, I'm here to continue on. In this life, who did I come here to be? And then question five is, how do I act from that purpose? I think that's really powerful as it is, obviously. It's really stuck with me as I was thinking about talking about Buddhism and its influence on my life, I thought about, what's bothering me as I open the cabinet under the bathroom sink? And where am I feeling it as I grab the bottle of Windex? I am grabbing that bottle of Windex with these fingers. Where life is pulsing through them, I can feel that. Where is it in my body, maybe as I spray, and I'm minding what's going on? Who did I come here to be as I'm wiping? And then how do I act from that purpose as I'm wiping again, because I can never get it right on the first, I think cleaning a mirror is kind of hard, actually. There's just always residue, always, yeah. Nobody's sense of humor is as good as God's. Another thing for me, just that I'll share about this idea of, whatever we are doing, and again, Ty speaks about how to eat an orange, how to hold it in our hands and feel our fingers peel it and smell its fragrance, right, and so on and so forth. Tying your shoes, driving, anything, really anything, but these are actions. Something that I've learned, there's a lot of research and a lot of brain science around the effects of pairing like our healing consciousness with movement, yoga, tapping, shout out to Mayor. So if it is tying my shoes, and I'm aware of tying my shoes, and at the same time I'm inviting a thought that expands my consciousness, that has an even deeper effect than if I just hold it intellectually. One illustration that Ty gives that I've always loved, I just think it's so cool, is, let's see, so for me a Z looks like this. So for you all, a Z would look like this, right? Yeah. So here we have the human plane or the human realm, and here we have the eternal or the universal realm, and in between is the practice, right? So whether it's our mirror or our shoes or the dishes, always the dishes. We have these opportunities through our actions, through literal actions, to invite our higher consciousness. And I guess I'll say that for me, this past week, as I knew I was going to speak about Buddhism, it's like, all right, here we go. 4 Noble Truths, 5 Unity Principles, 8-fold Path, 12 Powers. I'm going to spin this awesome, and it wasn't happening. We had to travel to Nashville and back last weekend. The time changed. Maggie started preschool. The dishes kept coming. On Wednesday and Thursday, one of us drove to work with the car seat in our car and the other at home, needing to take Maggie to daycare. And it was like, I was being frustrated because it's like, I don't have any time to think about or write about spirituality. I only have time to do it, because the dishes kept piling up. And the toys were all over the floor, and that's life, Ty talks all about how there are these great insights in Buddhism, and they are many, and they are mind-blowing, and it's amazing. But there's always dishes in the sink, and there's always a walk from the sanctuary downstairs and to our car, and there's always a drive home. And in those moments are where we can take, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's scripture. I've been reading In the Flow of Life by Eric Butterworth, which was a gift when we joined Unity. And, it all points to that idea that we are these conduits for flow and for this energy that's always there. We can't make gravity go away. We can just use gravity. And it's the same thing with this life energy. And while I peel that orange or do those dishes, I can think about that conduit and cleaning it so that more and more can flow. And I think that that's what Ty has in mind when he encourages us to treat our dishes like a baby Buddha. And I think that's what the monks on the Walk for Peace had in mind when they encouraged us to clean our mirrors. It's just to stop rushing and pay attention and be with what's here, because what's here is so powerful. It's so good. The last thing I had written down that I do want to note is just that Mike Shelton gave me an Emmett Fox book a while ago, and he writes in there that you should pray as though you were painting on cobweb. So delicately and so mindfully. Think about the awareness it would take to paint on cobweb. I'm amazed by that, and I think that that's really such a powerful calling into what we can do with our everyday actions. So, yeah, life is full of dirty mirrors, literal, physical, the equivalent waiting in the kitchen. And so let's use those, in every moment. Let's use those to actually invite into the space we have the flow and the love of God. I think I'm going to turn it over to Barbara for our meditation. Thank you.
So let's continue to resonate with what we've heard and what we know. And, one thing when he was talking, I also thought about how Charles and Fillmore called their movement practical Christianity, because they said it's a way of living. It's not something you have to do separate. And I know I've been told many times that life is when you interweave the divine with the mundane, and the mundane is your everyday tasks. And that's exactly what Jonathan was talking about. And so I know a practice I do is the way I want us to start this meditation is I'll say that I honor the divine in each of you. I honor the divine in each of the sages of all the mystical religions. I honor the divine in every object, every space. I honor the great sages, the Buddhas, the monks, the everyday person who allows and knows the divine. Who is the divine? For we are all made in that same divine essence. We all come from the same seed, and that seed is God, Buddha, Christ, Mother Teresa, you and me. We are the essence, and that essence is always here. It's always flowing in and through and as us. And every great mystic, including our own Charles and Myrtle, say you take time to rest, to be still and know that I am. And from their great tradition sprung silent unity, who holds the space of prayer, oneness, healing and peace, 24 hours, For time's not linear, it is eternal. And so we have always that opportunity of stepping in to that space of eternity inside. It's timeless, it's vast. It's the field of pure potentiality. And here at Unity, we also often call it the I am. There's nothing else to attach to it. I am that divine essence, consciousness, peace. There are so many aspects of the eternal. And we all have the capacity of knowing and expressing that. And the way to express it is in the present moment. So now allow yourself to settle. Allow your body to be in that easy, upright position. Knowing that we are here in body form. And it's through the body that we do have access. It's also in clearing our mind and allowing it to bask in the knowledge and knowingness of the I am. Settling in. It's a way of easing and backing into you, who you are. So allow the now moment now as you rest. Settle into the stillness of I am. And staying settled in the space of who you are. And taking a nice, easy in breath with a nice, long, empty, easying. Another in breath and out breath. As you allow the best of your experience of knowing your own beingness to fill your mind, filling every cell in your body. And opening your eyes and bringing the best of who you are into your every thought, action, and breath. And so it is.
So some of y'all may have done this with us before. We're basically going to sing each line 4 times, but I encourage you, when you find a lyric or a chant that we do that you like, stick with it. And then at the end, all of us in this room are going to be having this massive energy with different chants going on. But I encourage you to sing along with me to start, and I have some plants in the crowd to help along. So the first one is Om Mani Padme Hum, and Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om. Next one is Shanti. Shanti, 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 Shanti. Next one. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha. Next one. Shalom.
You know, Ian is always asking people to join the choir, and y'all don't come up. So he has created a choir. Thank you, Ian.
Yes.
And so now is our time for prosperity, and I want to just say one thing as the ushers come forward. There's so many ways for us to bless our community, and one is through our Kroger program. You can sign up on your Kroger account and let Unity of Richmond be the designated for the tithes that Kroger gives out. This past month, we made $40.63 from you shopping. Okay, so that's another easy way. You just go on the website and you donate Unity of Richmond as the charity that you would like your points to go towards. You still get your points, but they give points to the church too. So let's together now say our prosperity blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
I met a prophet as dark as the night. She could see into my soul. She said she'd been watching and had some advice. She said shadows make you whole. A life without pain is a wolf in sheep's clothes. 'Cause if you listen to the lesson that it holds, you'll find the gold. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break the shell. I can remember when I was a child, how the grown folks seemed so crazy. Why are they so angry? Why are they so loud? And when I grow up, that's never ever gonna be me. That was the moment that I'd decide that I would build a wall just shy of 6 feet tall, too strong to fall. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. The bird cannot fly until you break the shell. Courage is not being hard. It's time to peel back all of the layers you put between who you're meant to be and go and be who you are. Just go and be who you are. So much disappointment to finally understand that there is no such thing as perfect. We're all simply doing the best that we can, and we have the choice to live and truly be alive. This is our lives, and it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. A bird cannot fly until it breaks the shell. Do with these words what you will, but it's time for us to be for real. We'll all be stuck on the ground until we finally break the shell. Thank you.
Blessed with the music, and also blessed with our tithes and offerings. So let's say this together, please. We give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. And so Before I say the thank yous, I want to invite any children forward. And also, I just want everyone to know we do have YOU, which is our high school group, but they usually choose to stay downstairs and continue with their lessons. So they are here today, but they're doing their own thing. And so the rest of the children, if you want to come up.
1, 2, 3.
You are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. You are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
We have the little truck lover here.
We were so happy to be joined by Miss Sunny today. I think she's feeling a little shy, but she's back there. Hi, Sunny. And we have Miss Maggie. And yeah, we had a good day today. So that's it.
Thank you. And so now I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you that we have prayer chaplains. You know, prayer is the cornerstone of unity. And we have prayer chaplains that are always up in front, ready to pray with you. When they do pray, they hold it in confidence. It doesn't go beyond your heart to their heart. And we also have a box that you can put prayers in, and Unity of Richmond sends them on to our Silent Unity, and they continue to pray for 30 days. I also want to say thank you for our group in the back that always brings our online people here. Thank you so much. Thank you for you that joined us online. We love having you here. And I also want to say thank you for everyone who helps clean up the place. I know Debbie has, and so many people help with that. We had a wonderful gala event last night that I need to say thank you for Armin and Vicky. They not only cooked, but they gave us a sound bath. So they're going to continue to do that, but she did very quickly say it will be the sound bath and no food, okay? That was one-time cooking. And then also thank you for the musicians for everything they do. Woo. I thank you for Jonathan for that wonderful service. And I also want to say thank you for our board of directors. We have some board members that will be leaving the board and some new ones coming up, and they really hold the sacredness of our church, so we want to thank them too. And now we will do our prayer for protection and our peace song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.